Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome
Welcome
back.
back. Back.
Wow. It's been so long.
It
What?
has. Where have we been? Where have we
Girl,
been?
we have been out and about, but we are back. We're back, Reality Check
I want to say
family.
something. I want to say, twin, where have you been? Nobody knows me like you do. Nobody
I don't know what's going on with Mare.
know me
I don't,
quite like
I don't
you.
know what's going on with
Do
Mare.
not every time. Why are you looking at me like that?
Are you
Stop.
okay?
I'm
Anyways,
just
we're
saying,
back.
we're back, and back like we never left. Okay,
Girl,
baby, but we
girl.
left, or I left. Life be lifing.
lifing. Yes,
Life be
life be lifing.
lifing.
But we are back, and we're so excited to be back. Thank you all. Welcome back to Reality Check Podcast, where tea is served and checks are dispersed. Honey,
Yes,
my name
baby.
is Diana, for those that need a reminder. And for those that are new to our podcast, welcome to Reality Check Podcast. Who are you,
That's
ma'am?
right. My name is Mare. Those who know me by the name Mare. Nice to meet
Yes.
everyone, new
Yes, yes,
followers and
yes.
all.
Yes, welcome back to those that have been here. And hello to our new people, our new followers, and our new family. Oh, my word. All right, so we are here to
Yes.
chat about Love is Blind. Let's go ahead and get right into it. But before we do, we wanted to bring back our segment, What
Yes.
Are You Drinking?
What are
So-
you drinking?
Okay, so I actually just celebrated my birthday. Mare knows because she joined me on the celebration, and we went to Los Cabos, Mexico. And if anyone
Exactly.
knows anything about Mexico, you know they are known for their what? Tequila,
Tequila.
tequila. So I actually have some good old, what did I call this drink again? Diana Sunrise,
Yes.
tequila,
Yes.
some ginger ale, and a splash of, this time, typically I use mango nectar. I use peach nectar this time.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Sounds tasty.
It's very tasty. Strong.
And and me over here, I just have a good old Canada Dry, okay? Ginger ale. So,
There we go. You have 1/3 of what I have in here. Perfect.
good to know.
All right, y'all. So let's chat Love is Blind season 6. I know the last time we were together, we were chatting about Real Housewives and things like that. And we will maybe at some point get into that, to be very honest with you.
When, I mean, I don't know if I am.
We'll
No,
try.
I'm with Potomac. No, I'm not. I can't.
And it's really, really
I'm done.
piss poor, unfortunately. Hate to see it, but hey, what can we do? All right, so Love is Blind season 6. For anyone that is watching season 6, they are in Charlotte, North Carolina this season. Anyone that has been following us, you can actually go back into our episodes where we did cover season 5. We got to interview a few castmates. We were supposed to interview one more castmate. I believe it was Taylor, but that got canceled, so whatever. We move. So season 6, let's chat about who we have and the couples. So we'll just go couple by couple. We'll chat about them. Please drop your thoughts about what we are saying in the comments section of wherever you are listening to this on. If you are listening to it on a place where you can't, like, there is no comment section available, please DM us or go to our social media at realiTEACheckpodcast on TikTok, on Instagram. Comment and let us know your thoughts. Join the conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
All right, let's get-
Who we starting with, child? Who we starting with, child?
Based on what we were watching, okay, first let's just start off with AD and Clay, who I call Oh No.
Okay, go big or go home. Let's do it. Okay. So
Like-
just as a recap really quickly, so Clay and AD, they are the only all black couple that we have. They were engaged. Clay actually has only really, all that we have seen is that Clay has been only into AD. Excuse me. And AD was battling between Matthew and Clay. Matthew ended up deciding to leave the show because he wanted the other Amber. And I don't even know what Matthew. I think Matthew was probably a production. I don't even know what he was there for.
He
But
was
either way,
he was a production plant. I
child,
have to believe that he was. I'm sorry, because
Matthew.
there's
I
no
don't
way.
even know if that child is well, but whatever. That's besides the point. Either way, he left AD in the dust. And AD decided to go ahead and go gung ho for Clay. They've had a little bit of a rocky road, but they are at the place now where they've gone through their vacation. They have now moved in together and have checked out each other's homes and are meeting family.
I'm so sorry.
That's where we at.
I'm so sorry. I'm just thinking about something. One of the comments in one of the videos that we did before, somebody had said, "I think AD is slow." I was thinking,
No,
sorry.
because honestly, I'm really struggling with AD. But before I share my thoughts, please, Mary, what are your thoughts on AD and Clay?
I think it's a terrible pairing. Like, why do that? Why go with each other? Like, there's nothing that makes sense about you two being together. I think for both of them, AD is highlighting her toxic traits, right? She's Miss Fix-a-Hoe. So I'm saying, like, AD was highlighting, like, her toxic traits, her toxic characteristics, which is that she will take on a project, right? And she has met a man like this man before, and she wants to be practiced on. I don't understand. And then Clay, he doesn't need to be here. He absolutely does not need to be here. And I know you're going to get into it a little bit more, but I have less sympathy for this man than Diana does. I do not have any sort of sympathy for the behaviors that he is manifesting, especially because at his ripe age right now, knowing the issues that he has, why are you on this show? Like, why are you actually here? So both of them are so destructive together. It makes no sense. For me, AD had two choices, Matthew and she had Clay. She didn't need to choose either of them. But in her desperation, she decides to choose, oh no, right? She decides to go with her track record. She decides to, like, continue with the same idiotic behavior. And so she's really showing that she doesn't want to change. She's not showing that she really truly wants anything different than what she's had in the past. So for me, both of them, they deserve each other. That's it. They deserve each other. I'm done with that.
Okay, so let me just say I agree with you. I do agree with you. In terms for AD, what I find problematic is her need to fix. And what I also find problematic is the fact that she is aware and is recognizing that this is her behavior, but continuing that same pattern.
Yeah.
I don't know why that irritates me. I'm let me just say that rooting for everybody black on this show. Rooting for everybody black. At the same time, I'm just not liking the problematic behavior. And her need, her infatuation with practice on me and let me be the one to fix you is only going to continue to lead her down a path of destruction, which has afforded her non-successful relationships thus far, which is why she's here.
Exactly.
Right? I completely agree with you. Between Matthew and Clay, choose nobody. Go home. Because
Definitely.
Once Matthew said, what was it? I don't even know why he wanted to leave and why he was saying, oh, since I can't give you what you want. What is it that she wanted? I didn't really understand it.
There's something we missed that production didn't show us in between, because I didn't get it either.
Maybe, because I didn't really understand what he wanted that she was not, or what she wanted that he was not able to provide, but whatever. Now, Clay, I agree with you.
Oy.
I 1000% agree with you. Clay should not be here.
Jesus Christ.
Clay should absolutely not be on this show. Absolutely not. He is absolutely presenting toxic traits, problematic traits. He should go home. Especially since he's recognizing it, he should go home. Where I applaud him just a little bit is the fact that I think what we're seeing with Clay, and sorry, before I actually go into that, let me just say one thing I do not stand by is his whole fat phobia and him telling AD Do you remember that scene where he was
Yeah,
telling
that he would
AD
just tell her, you need to go to the gym if you know, get pregnant and all that
the
stuff, you
fat
know.
phobia coming through his pores in his neck was insane. I'm like, my guy,
Yeah,
please stop
man.
talking. Please, I need you to stop talking. But anyways, with Clay, I feel like what we're seeing is
Go
so
ahead.
with Clay, what I definitely see happening is I think he is having an internal conflict. And it's so funny because I literally wrote down in my notes when he was having a conversation with AD that he seems to be incredibly introspective and evaluative of his own life and what he knows to be normal. And then quite literally in the next scene, that's when I think Jeremy or somebody was having a conversation with AD and was like, oh, by the way, Clay is very introspective. And I'm like, interesting analysis, that interesting that I was able to actually clock that. But though his behavior and some of the things that he's saying is disappointing me, I also see the internal conflict where he is, what he knows to be normal, he's realizing is actually not normal. He has said that he has never seen, what he thinks is normal is black men being unfaithful. He's never seen a successful black relationship. Everybody within his personal life and then celebrities that he actually looks to, he sees that they have more than one woman. So because this is something that's normal to him, he does not know if he is capable of monogamy. And I see that we can see that internal struggle. We see even in the pause, he had a breakdown with Jamal and he was like, I'm so sorry, dude. I don't mean to be crying, but I'm just having a day. He had a full breakdown. And I love seeing Jamal be there for him because we don't get to see that often, right? So I'm not excusing the problematic things that he is saying. I'm not excusing his toxic behavior. What I'm saying is because he recognizes that he needs to deconstruct a lot of what he knows and understands to be normal, then he should take that and leave and go and seek therapy. He's even said it. I would definitely love to engage in therapy. Good. Now go. Leave AD. She will be all right. Go. Before you hurt somebody else. And I think that's what he's also really afraid of. He's afraid of hurting her in the way that he now sees like my behavior is problematic. Because he honestly may have broken hearts.
What do you mean may? He definitely has broken hearts. I bet $100 on it. I bet 100. Like, he has. No, I completely agree with your assessment. Your assessment is not incorrect. However, I do not believe that this moment of introspection for him came right at this time of Love is Blind. I think this is something that he definitely has been thinking about. He's known a little bit about. He's been identifying these things in himself. Then my question is, why did you choose to come on this show? Like, why did you make this decision? Love is blind. Oh, I can't get with you unless I see what you look like physically. Why are you here?
Why are you here? Exactly.
Like
exactly.
You're crying. Oh, you're talking to AD, talking about like, I really, in the pods, you helped me become a better person. No.
Don't put that responsibility on her.
Don't put it on her.
He doesn't. It's crazy because I don't think he understands or knows that he shouldn't put that responsibility on her, especially because she's allowing it.
Exactly.
Especially because she's allowing it.
She's inviting it. She's like, yes, I can do this for you. Yes, she's a pick-me too. Like, honestly, she is. I would love to have seen her stand up for herself and say, like, you know what? I recognize that I'm reverting back to what I am commonly used to.
She did say that.
Oh, she did.
In the pods, she did. She said, well, practice on me. This is what I'm used to.
This is what she's used to. She actively acknowledges that and just takes it on. This is why I say that they deserve each other. This is my assessment. Clay don't like AD. He is not attracted to AD
I don't think
in that way.
When they opened them doors and he was like, oh.
Exactly.
I'm
the sound he made, he was like,
Clay.
And I'm like, you know what? And it's not like he's, that great of a looker himself either. But the thing is this, like, he doesn't like her, but, and I also want to talk about this power that women give to men to determine their worth.
Yeah.
Their beauty, to determine their standard. It happened with AD and it happened with Chelsea.
Yes. Okay? Let's segue, please.
I am like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's a lot. And I'm like, these men, one, they're not Jesus, and number two, they are not Brad Pitt. Like, who are...
Okay. Can I just say this, though? Can
Go
I say
ahead.
this now that we're talking about, like, Chelsea and Jimmy? I don't know why. Maybe I'm tripping. And y'all that are listening probably can tell me if I'm tripping or not. There's something about Jimmy that reminds me of Peyton Manning.
The how slow he talks.
Oh, come
and
on,
moves.
stop. Well, no, that's a Southern draw. They all have, this is North Carolina. That's a Southern draw.
Oh.
They have the Southern draw. That's what that is.
I don't know what it is. He doesn't remind me of Peyton Manning. Jimmy just looks like any regular old man out there. I don't know.
All right.
But,
Stop.
you know, no, like, this is just ridiculous. You know, Chelsea's need for validation, it pisses me off. It makes me irritated.
Girl,
I'm like,
don't even get me
sis,
started.
you are a beautiful, stunning young woman. Acknowledge that for yourself. Sis, you are accomplished in your own right in what it is that you're doing in your life. Acknowledge that for yourself. And number two, the reason that you went with Jimmy is a problem in the first place because you should have went with fine Trevor. Okay, baby? I mean, okay, fine. Okay. Wow.
No. I agree with you. First of all,
Okay.
I'm so glad that he has since cut off that mullet because...
because he looked good, baby. Like...
And a mullet?
I'm sorry. Not in the mullet. He looks good now
are
without
you
the mullet.
okay?
No. Because,
He looks good.
He looks good. Like, even when Chelsea and Jimmy were talking about their usual types, Chelsea's like, I normally go for the big men and da-da-da. She would have been so happy if she saw Trevor. Like,
Trevor brought up a good point, though, in the pods.
what?
And I wonder if he understands, like, the way that Chelsea tips turvies and, like, her emotions tip based on maybe, I don't know. He was like, I'm wondering if I had come to propose to you first, would you have said yes?
That was the question. And the pause that she had.
And all she could say was her rehearsed answers and say, this is harder for me than it is for you, or whatever nonsense she said. She just kept on, like, there was a rehearsed answer that she kept on saying. She's like, oh, I can't give you all of me. I can't give you all of me. I'm like, that doesn't answer the question that you just asked.
No, because Chelsea was in competition with Jessica. Chelsea wanted to win. And that is one of the main things too, though.
No,
you don't think so?
I don't think that she was in competition with Jessica because I'm so sorry. Chelsea is too insecure, and I think she's very much aware that she can't be in competition with Jessica. However, I think that she just wanted to be chosen.
Okay. Now, but here's where we agree, though. Competition in regards to the choice that Jimmy had to make. She was in competition with Jessica. She wanted to be chosen, yes. And in order to be chosen, she had to compete for him to choose her. Do you understand?
But if Trevor had proposed first, I really think she would have said yes.
Well, how do we know?
She fell on the floor. She had the same exact reaction when they both told her that they loved her.
True.
She was incredibly shocked. And she fell on the floor crying as if, like...
True.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like for her, it didn't really matter who it was. I don't think that she had a stronger connection with Jimmy. I'm sorry.
First of all, I didn't know what connection she had with either of them because the reason that I was not feeling Chelsea is because I feel like all I heard was that she was just laughing or crying. Every time that she was in the pods, there was nothing substantial that I was hearing that lets me know these two people have a connection. Her and Trevor had this weird comedic thing going on where every joke they were telling, I didn't find funny. I didn't know what was going on. I don't understand. But with Jimmy, she had nothing going on there. Listen. She really wanted Jimmy to choose her because she saw what Jessica looked like. And I'm sorry. I mean, nobody else.
Consider the fact that based on, and I'm going to choose my words wisely because we don't know who's watching us, and we found out that people do be watching us after last season. Based on our conversations, scrap that, redact that. Based on anecdotes and what we know and what we have researched and understand about Love is Blind, we know that these people are allegedly, I have to throw that out there, under psychological manipulation. But we know that these people are under psychological manipulation, right? So, and we also know that these people are talking for 8 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Sometimes at night, not getting sleep. We see the alcohol that is there. So they are under increased alcohol consumption and decreased nutrition. They are malnourished, right? So,
Okay.
one, we don't know if they are having substantial conversations that's leading them to think, like, yeah, we are in love or whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. Two, they're also, I don't think, allegedly, I believe that allegedly, in my opinion, they're not, like,
They're not well in the
coherent.
head.
They're
They're
not.
not swell.
Sorry.
I'm
Sorry.
so sorry. For each of you who have voluntarily chosen to go on this show, please, God forgive you. I'm so sorry. For me, Chelsea needs to grow up. And Chelsea needs to stop giving so much power and so much agency to the other person that is next to her. It's way too much. It's way too much. And it's like Jimmy doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve all of that at all. I don't think he has even made himself show that he is worthy of that. For me, Jimmy was caught between a rock and a hard place with the decision that he had to make. And I think he only chose Chelsea as a consolation. The consolation given the fact that like he thinks that he was going to get a foxy looking lady, or that he was gonna get I know, right? Or that he was gonna get somebody that was, didn't have any quote unquote, baggage. Children are not baggage, but I think in his ideation, it was baggage for him, and he has every right to choose to not do that, right?
Correct.
But I think the amount of times in these past couple of episodes that he said, "But I love you. I've said I love you to you more than all the other guys," or "I've been kissing you all this." It's like you don't the quantifying it means that like you're really. I just have an issue with just continuously quantifying that I've done more in this relationship with showing you affection than other people have, and the continuous comparisons there. Chelsea's is a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
So here's the thing. I agree with that. Right? Like when you quantify it, it's kind of like cause for pause.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of feel like I don't think that Jimmy is a wordsmith. And he doesn't seem to know how to really articulate or assess situations all that well.
Mm-hmm.
And another reason that I want to add to the reason why I believe that Jimmy did not pick what's her name? Jessica. Is because I think that Jimmy is the type of person, he seems as though, and he said that he doesn't really deal well with women that give quote unquote attitude. So I think he's really not used to direct women. And when he recognized the directness in Jessica, that's when he went and told the other girl, "I love you."
I must have missed that, baby girl, because I didn't even hear that.
And he doesn't, just based on his character, he doesn't seem to be able to deal well with that. But whatever, that's besides the point. He seems to come from a background that it's a soft or conciliatory approach. Whatever. What were we talking about? Oh my goodness. Okay,
Chelsea,
so Jimmy and Chelsea.
Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. So I think with them, and I wrote down, there seems to be some type of like there's an overcompensation, I feel like, with the two of them.
Ooh.
And I think that, yeah, especially on Chelsea's end, I think Chelsea expects that if I give this, she's been saying, I give 100%. I've always given 100% in all my relationships. She expects that since I'm giving 100%, you must give 100%. Right. Baby girl, we just met you 3 days ago.
Hey,
we just met you 3 days ago.
But this is 3 days is like 6 months.
Correct.
Right.
So
in this process,
I think with Jimmy, because he, one, obviously considering what they may be like psychologically going through, I think that he doesn't know how else to put that, like, I am giving you all of me, but to quantify it. I think that's his way of saying, you feel like you're giving 100%. I am as well. I bit my lip. It hurts. And it hurts to talk, but I am trying to show you affection. I am doing these things. So for him, unfortunately, in his simple mind, he's going to simplify it as, I kissed you 2 times. I kissed you 3 times. You get what I'm saying?
That's okay. I like the route that you're taking there. I see that.
I just keep thinking about the people that we talked to and hearing that the fact that some people were there for 3 to 4 days and they had to literally almost go to the psych ward to undo what the heck these people did, allegedly.
Right.
Sorry, I have to say allegedly.
I completely get it. I'm a big believer in body language, baby. Okay. He don't like her. He don't like her. Okay. Like, I'm sorry. Okay, baby girl. He don't like her. First of all, when they met each other in the reveal, right?
When he hugged her, Hi, God. I said, please, Jimmy. Please. I even take God beg you, just pretend. He literally was like, and went in slowly
Yeah.
for the hug. And then the fact that the camera caught him behind her, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, please,
Oh my
please,
God.
please. That's
Like,
why there's all this I love you, I love you, I love you, babe is irritating me.
it's very irritating because it's not true. It's not true.
It's not
It's
true.
not true. So I don't, for him continuously quantifying how many times he's done X, how many times he's done Y, all of that stuff, it's because he's trying to prove to her that, hey, I'm in this process with you, but for real, I don't really like you like that, baby. Like,
And I think he's probably trying to
honestly,
convince himself that he can do it.
that he can do it.
He
Right,
says it enough.
exactly. And like honestly, and Chelsea is her love language is affection, physical touch thing, quality time, words of affirmation, all of them. She has all of them, okay? All of the love languages. And so she's trying to evoke that to him, right? And I can appreciate her for trying to say all of those things. But there's something called women's intuition. A woman's intuition. Lean in on that, Chelsea. Her intuition is that this man does not like her. Lean in on that intuition. Okay?
No, she's not willing to let that happen. Can I ask you,
Ooh.
who does she remind you of? Which
in
past
our
contestant?
real life, or like
No. In like Love Is Blind universe world, past contestant. Think same
Lydia.
name.
Lydia.
No. You said Lydia. Lydia. Not even. You know what kind of reminded me of Lydia just a little bit? It was Jess, just a little bit. Jessica.
Jess?
I'll get
Okay.
into that later. But Chelsea and Kwame.
Oh yes, that's so true.
love
In some
bombing?
ways, the love bombing and
The
everything.
love
Yeah,
bombing.
yeah.
She is not willing to accept that, hey, this guy may not actually be for me. And this, honestly, when they got into an argument and he said, yeah, you're clingy. I don't think that was anything that was worth all of the tears and all of the emotion that she brought. But she is unwilling to accept any type of feedback, any type of anything. It's just, well, I loved you so much. I'm here for you and I love you so much. So how could you tell me I'm clingy?
Yeah.
Ma'am, because maybe
Maybe you
smothering
kind
him.
of are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And which is very interesting because like the day before, weren't they just like making out, kissing in the water and
Girl,
like having a
I guess
great
an hour
date?
before that they had just had sex and he apparently that was too much for him.
He's like, if we're going to be talking about sex, like, I would have liked a little break from that.
Heard that? I said, Jimmy, is it mad man? He's not okay. So why would you do that? You know that girl. Why would you do that to that girl? Why would you do that? Why would you say that to that girl?
He's about to send her spiraling even further, like, for
I'm
him
like,
saying that. Like,
guy,
seriously.
do you know what you're
Not
about
cool.
to enter a
Not
world
cool.
of like nonsense? Anyways,
Not cool.
done with Jimmy and Chelsea. Let's move on to another couple. I guess an easy couple that we can go over is, I cannot remember their names, but
And that's the sad part. They're the happiest couple there.
they
Okay?
are, you know it. But the girl that she's Latina
Yes.
and she doesn't want to get on birth control. I mean, I think that what I enjoy about this season is I think they're bringing up some interesting conversations, interesting dynamics between the two. Well, with this couple, the guy, which I can't remember his name, God bless him, but he does not want to have sex with the woman, not for like religious purposes, but for the fact that she's not on birth control. And he is really, really afraid of making a mistake and potentially having a child where he is not financially stable already. You can tell he probably comes from a background where maybe there wasn't a lot of financial sufficiency. So he is incredibly, incredibly cautious about making sure that for his children, that there is. So I would love to know what you think about that. I guess real quick, because I think they're solid. They're going to get married.
I think they're going to get married too. I think that's the couple of the season. I do think
For sure.
Well, one, I guess the thought in my head was like, he doesn't want to wear a condom, so he wants to go raw. Anyway, because the
But I
barrier
guess he
method
also doesn't
can also work.
understand, even if you're on birth control, that doesn't 100% guarantee that you won't have a child, because there have been many situations where people are on birth control and they still have a
But
kid.
the effectiveness is,
Of
a little bit
course,
more,
it's of
solid
course.
than the barrier method. But either way, yeah,
I understand the
I
reasonable
think it's
assurance.
he wants the assurance and things like that. I think that's a reasonable, thought
Mm-hmm.
process and conversation to have because, in this world, we do have children that are coming into families that are not ready for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so he is making a decision where he's like, no, I want to be ready to have a child. But, in order for me to do that, I need to make sure that like we are safe and that we're
Mm-hmm.
doing it in a way that is, more often than not going to result in us not having a child right now, right? So, I mean, it's an interesting conversation. I wonder, how did she take it? Did they talk to each other about it?
Yeah, she said get a vasectomy. Just- she said there's that option too
What?
to get a vasectomy. Whatever. Anyways, I think they're gonna make it. Doesn't matter. Moving on. Sorry,
That was her response?
girl. Yes. She said, well, you could also get a vasectomy. It's not only about me being a birth. For her, she doesn't want to. It's not about she doesn't want kids. I think she believes that she doesn't want to subject herself to unintentional hormonal imbalance or the unintentional hormonal imbalance that comes with birth control.
With birth control,
Now,
that makes
again,
sense.
but again, scientifically, there are birth controls that you can get
That are
that
non-hormonal.
exactly.
Yes, there
Exactly.
are.
So I think there's a lot of
The copper IUD is an example that she can use. Absolutely.
there are a lot of different options that are out there. I remember I was speaking to one of my friends that's a pharmacist, and I think she said that you can get like a progesterone high
Yeah.
birth control, correct? So there are different options that are out there. I think that they both just need to educate themselves to find the best option that works for them.
So I'm guessing she's never used birth control in her entire life. Is that what I'm guessing? That's okay. That's like many women out there. You know what? Okay, big ups to them. All right, let's push it. Who's next?
I guess we can go with the couple that actually just broke up, which is Brittany and Ken. Brittany and Ken,
I
honestly,
just-
low key. Go ahead.
Can we just get a hallelujah? Amen.
Okay.
Thank you, Jesus.
Okay.
That they are not together because thank you, Jesus. Okay?
Okay. It's interesting that you say that. I would love to hear why. For me, I thought they just seem more like best friends than a couple. That's just my opinion. But let me just quickly give a recap on these two before you give your opinion. So these two were the couple. They were the I guess they were an interracial couple. Brittany, per her words, identifies as a white woman. And she identifies as a white woman. It's like, okay, good for you, ma'am.
That's right, girl.
And his ethnicity is black.
Wait, she said ethnicity?
Please, please, please. I'm tired. Honestly, sometimes these things make me scratch my head. But anyways.
Black is not an ethnicity, people.
Listen, I thought this was common knowledge, but apparently
We're
listening
still
to this,
having this
it's not.
discourse in 2024. A lot of people don't understand the difference between ethnicity and race.
And race, yeah, or nationality, but whatever. Let's just move on. So,
Blood
these
of
two, I guess,
Jesus.
the commonalities that they have, they are both Christians. They are both believers of Christ, and I was actually really excited, though. Being an interracial couple, that was a little bit of a. I was really interested to see how they were going to navigate that, but. And the reason why I was interested is because, let me just say, I'm a Dr. Umar stan. But that aside, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm being honest. If I'm being very honest. If I'm being honest, right? And AD did bring up a good question to Ken, and she was saying, does she realize that she would have to raise black children? Anyways, I was interested to see how they were going to navigate their relationship because I'm a Dr. Umar stan. But anyways, fact of the matter is they seem like friends, and AD brought up a good point. She was like, well, she would have to raise black children. Excuse me. So is she ready for that? Right? He was like, that's a great question. That's a great point. And Brittany got kind of defensive about that, which was kind of a little bit disappointing. She went into this spiel about how she hopes that people have good intentions with hearing that. Ma'am, she's a black woman and you are dating a black man. That's just that. But they have since broken up because Brittany felt like she was giving way more in the relationship than he was. He pretty much was on his phone the entire time.
You see, this is my thing. I almost think that the conversation about race, I was like, why are we talking about this right now? The reason I say this is because we've had all the time in the pods. They acknowledge that she's white, he's black. If it mattered so much to him, why did he not bring up that conversation? Why did we not possibly hear it in the pods? I didn't take her line of questioning when he had told her that, like, okay, AD asked me this question. I'm like, I don't know. It just came literally out of the blue during that conversation with AD and this young man about, oh, she's white. Do you think she's going to be able to raise black kids? I was like, why is this pertinent right now? Right? And I do think that the young woman that he chose is so open to being in a relationship with this person, and it's not her first interracial relationship. It's not her first time at the rodeo. And a lot of the answers that she was giving, she's talking about, you know, I completely understand AD as a black woman asking those questions. It gives a woman who has thought about her role in a relationship with somebody who is not white. So I think that she has a good foundational understanding about the impact that it may have when she does have children that are not completely white, and the role and responsibility that she has to play there. I just was caught a little off guard with the conversation and AD's insertion of that question. I don't know. I didn't think it was the time and place.
I think I disagree with that because they don't have many group interactions. And I think Brittany had just like walked away, and Ken and AD seem to have great camaraderie, as well as Ken and Clay do. So it seemed to me like a brother and sister conversation. And it didn't seem like AD had like concern, but she was just Melissa asking like, hey, is she aware of this? And is this something that your family would they live in the South, right? So these are very real things that are happening. She's asking, will your family have any concerns with you dating a white woman? And is she aware? How aware is she? AD lived in the living quarters with Brittany. Maybe she's asking that because maybe she didn't have, I don't know. I'm just assuming, right? Why is she asking that question if she lived in the living quarters with her? She knows Brittany maybe a little bit better than Ken, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong with AD asking that question. I don't think it was out of place. I think it's a valid question to ask, especially given the fact that they don't have many group interactions. But I still stand by the fact that I think if Brittany had just recognized, yes, I understand why she's asking that question as a black woman and just stopped there, I would have been fine. But it seemed a little bit defensive of Brittany to start questioning the intentions of what that question is. What malintent would AD have with asking that question? Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think I disagree with you there.
It's okay. I was put off by it. Because also Brittany doesn't give me the vibe as a woman who is going to completely not acknowledge the existence of her partner and her partner's experience in life. She doesn't give me that vibe, right? So whatever it is that AD experienced with her that led her to ask that question, maybe, like you said, that's why she asked it. But even if we assume that she had a great experience with her, I still don't think that there's anything wrong with AD asking that question. I think it's a very valid question to ask. There's nothing wrong with asking the question. I just think it's just not the time and the place. That was just not the moment for it. That was just not the moment for it. I disagree because it was a private conversation between them two. And as we see with various interactions that are happening, everybody's having private conversations. This one's talking about this one's butt. This one's talking about, oh, this one's introspective. Like they're having various one-on-one conversations with people, with their group. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with these two people having that type of conversation. If they're having conversations about not having sex before marriage, or having conversations about birth control and whether or not this person should be on it, I don't think having a conversation about, hey, what is her awareness with potentially raising black children? Something is off about it. For me.
Fair enough.
I mean, I can even ask AD, like, can she raise black children herself? Like, I mean, like, it just with the way. What?
Whoa, Mare.
What?
Hold on, Mare. Are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I just don't. That it just was off. There's something was off about it. I just can't put my finger on it, but it's just something was off about it. Maybe because
it's the eyelashes.
Brittany doesn't give racist.
I'm not saying that she gives, but you don't have to be a racist to
I understand. You don't have to be a racist to invite that conversation. Right? I get it. I think
That's the thing with interracial relationships, which is why I say, like, I was really interested to see how they would navigate that relationship, because no matter how much Brittany does not identify or does not give characteristics of a racist, she will never understand the shoes of a Ken. She will never understand what it feels like to be in his shoes. So there is a certain level, there's a barrier of understanding that she will never have. And she won't have that for her children, because her children, if she were to marry a black man and have children with a black man, she won't understand that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with inviting that conversation. I don't think there's anything. They're having many conversations, so I don't know why this one has to be excluded. It's a very hefty and nuanced conversation, so it doesn't just stop there. But
I may have an issue with AD being the one talking. I don't know.
Because it's the eyelashes. So, you don't like them. We don't like them.
No, and honestly,
I get it.
Like, and honestly, he took that conversation so much to heart that, listen, those two people, were they in it to win it, they would have had a successful relationship. I think sure. Absolutely. They would have had a successful relationship. But he then takes it up another level. My people are going to question you. My people are going to, like, look at it. And I get it. There's nothing that tells me that I don't understand that.
If he is from the South, then yeah. The same way she said, people will make ignorant comments and I just correct them and move on. For her, it's I just correct them and move on. For him, it's a life experience. Right? These are differences that they face. And it's a conversation that has to happen between these two people that are on television as an interracial couple. There's nothing wrong with it, in my opinion.
It's a conversation that does need to be had, but if it was so important to him, he should have had it.
He did.
Before. Before AD started bringing this crap up about it.
But they did. No. I think you're just mad that it's AD that's bringing it up. And I think because AD for us now...
No, it's not that.
It's because they did have that conversation before AD brought it up.
It's because it's very briefly. I'm just saying, like, the problems and the situations that he has with, possibility of her raising black kids and all that stuff, like, that was not something that they went really in depth with in the pods at all, right?
I can't say that we wouldn't, that we can't say that he didn't.
Well, we can't say that he didn't.
We don't correct, but we did
based
see that
on
they
their
have conversations about race.
But based on the conversation after that, when we see AD bringing this up and then him talking to her about it, it doesn't seem like they've talked about this in depth prior.
I don't think that they had much of an in-depth conversation even after. Like, the conversation that you're referring to, I don't think that they took it to heart as much as we're making it seem. Like, I really, Brittany, I think she was just, her questioning of the intentions of AD, I just didn't really take that too lightly, considering that it's a valid question to ask. That's just my opinion. But either way, they broke up. So all of this to say that they broke up and whatever. They realized that they were not for each other because they stopped craving each other or whatever their breakup is. I don't know. I guess they just weren't going to work. I was also interested to see. I know. I was also really interested to see the fact that, like, they were a Christian couple and they were not going to have sex before marriage. So I was interested to see that, but I guess we didn't get much of that. Jeremy and Laura, they are...
Do we even need to talk about them? Because
I guess the only thing we gotta say is, that I guess Jeremy allegedly may have potentially cheated, and that's where we got the cliffhanger. We'll find out next Wednesday what happens. Ooh, child.
Yeah.
I low-key think they're kind of made for each other because they're both jokesters.
To be friends, not to be lovers. Like, this is a bad situation.
Bad pairing. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all right. So... that does it for this episode of our podcast. Please make sure that you look out for us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also on YouTube. Yeah. You can also find us on Instagram and also on TikTok and on Twitter. All of the handles will be posted right down here and up here too as well. Okay.
Please like, comment, share, subscribe on whatever platform you are listening to. And we will be back again with another podcast episode of Love is Blind. Thank you all so much for listening. Bye.
Bye-bye.